As you know, I'm a bit eccentric. Now we're using our YouTube channel to create an engineering company to rival Stark Industries themselves. But you might be wondering, how the heck did I get here? And what is the current state of HACKSMITH Industries? And where are we going in the future? Am I going to become a real-life Iron Man? Whether you're a longtime fan or a new viewer, let me explain a bit about the current state of HACKSMITH Industries. So on YouTube, you never really know what goes on behind the scenes. Let's get started. We're actually the 12th largest tech channel in the world. We've got a massive 13,000 square foot facility. We've gotten over 1 billion views on YouTube alone. We recently got a Guinness World Record, and the team is made up of 16 full-time employees. And we've inspired tens of thousands of students to go into engineering and more. So we're doing pretty good. But this video is going to be digging deeper into the current state of our business, a behind-the-scenes look at how we operate, how we make money, and why we do what we do. But some of you might be wondering, how do we even get here? Well, lucky for you, I just released a podcast at stereo.com/hacksmith where I spilled all the beans about how I started this company and everything you've ever wanted to know about HACKSMITH Industries. In fact, we're actually setting up this awesome podcast set in the shop. We've partnered with Stereo to host our very first podcast, and all you have to do is visit stereo.com/hacksmith to listen. The app is super easy to use, and you can even send me questions when I'm live. Here's a few excerpts from the podcast.
But I bought the house because it had the big garage, and that big garage gave me the courage, like, this could be an amazing workshop, and we can make some really cool stuff here.
College was the worst investment of our lives, James.
I mean, we learned a bit about engineering in college.
Kind of with those hard decisions, is there anything you wish you had done differently over the years? Any regrets from that?
Plus, we're going to be having another show tomorrow at 4 p.m. EST, so make sure you submit some questions below and live tomorrow through the app. And there'll be another show on Monday at 4 p.m. where I talk about the future of HACKSMITH Industries and how you can get involved. Big thank you to Stereo for sponsoring this video and our podcast. So let's get right to it. How exactly do we do what we do on YouTube? Well, unlike Stark Industries, we aren't actually an engineering company. Technically, we're a media company. We may seem like we're an engineering company, but we don't actually sell anything we make. I have this room full of amazing engineering prototypes that we don't sell. Most of our revenue actually comes from advertising. We make videos to get views, which means our videos are our product. And you guys, our viewers, are the customers. But since our videos are and will always be free to watch, we need to make money in other ways. So we sell advertising to brands in the videos, which now technically means your eyeballs are the product that the brand is paying for, and the brand is our customer. So not only do we have to make sure we keep our audience happy, but we also have to keep our paying brands happy. Confused yet? Really, it's just like TV. Brands pay money for advertisements that the viewers see, in the hopes that the viewers will buy the product or service. But let me tell you, advertising is weird. I really never thought I'd be in this field, let alone running a business off of it. I went to engineering school, not marketing class. So how much money do we make? Well, that's kind of personal, but we do all right, and most months we are profitable, which is how we've been able to continually expand the business. What we do is very expensive, and we invest heavily into growing the business instead of, lining my pockets. I mean, I drive a Kia after all. It's a nice Kia, but it's not a Tesla. It's a Kia. Our team's salary expenses per year are well over $1 million, supporting 16 employees and their families, which is pretty awesome. We lease this facility, which isn't cheap, and any upgrades we make, well, those are at our cost, and when we leave, the landlord gets to keep them. I think we've put over $100,000 in upgrades here in the past year alone. A lot of our equipment is sponsored and provided by the manufacturers, but all the supplies, parts, and overhead aren't cheap. And of course, projects make up a huge part of our budget as well. It all adds up pretty fast.
I have to confess, I don't understand the economics of this channel.
What economics?
The lion's share of our revenue comes from YouTube ads and sponsorships. YouTube ads are the easiest because they're pretty much automatic on YouTube. The more views a video gets, the more money we get from Google. Depending on a lot of factors, you can earn anywhere from $1 to $10 per 1,000 views. So if you get 1 million views, that could be $1,000 on the low end or $10,000 on the high end. Now you can kind of understand how a channel like Mr. Beast can spend $100,000 in a video, because his videos get tens of millions of views. I wish we could get by with just YouTube ad revenue, but unfortunately what we do is very expensive, which is why generally all of our videos have sponsors. Like this video's sponsor, Stereo. Sponsors are what keeps us in the green and allows us to justify building expensive one-off engineering projects that have little to no commercial viability. But unlike YouTube ads, it's actually a lot of work to get a sponsor. For instance, did you know every single sponsorship has a contract? Often 10 pages of dry legalese that we actually have to read, negotiate, and make sure we aren't accidentally selling our soul. We sometimes work directly with brands, which is awesome, but generally, we work with an agency who works with the brand. Sometimes this means there's additional layers. Like this one time, we were working with a middleman from the States who was working with an agency from Toronto, who was hired by an agency in China that was working for the brand. So we're trying to diversify our business and build up other more reliable and predictable revenue sources. So if we zoom into our graph, we can actually see our other revenue sources include memberships and Patreon. Huge thank you to all of our supporters. You guys are awesome. And we're actually going to be using that new revenue to hire a community manager to help give back to you guys. More behind the scenes content and interaction with the community. We also have merch sales thanks to our new web store at hacksmith.store, advertising revenue on other platforms, and more. We're hoping to grow these areas because long term, they're much more reliable than YouTube ads or sponsorships. So we're actively investing to grow these alternative revenue streams, like hacksmith.store, where we actually brought in our entire merch business in-house instead of using a third party like Teespring. This allows us to ensure a much better customer experience, offer much higher quality products, and save a bit of money skipping the middleman. But more on that later. Now, if we zoom back out on the graph, you'll actually see the majority of our revenue comes from our top secret military contracts. That's enough about money. Let's talk about how we actually do what we do. It basically comes down to the team. There's 17 people. I'm the CEO, Ian's the COO, Josh is our production manager, and his job is to make sure the videos are produced. Things like planning, scheduling, scripting, managing, and the day-to-day side of production. Under him, there are 3 videographers, Owen, Daryl, who's filming this right now, and our newest hire, Rob. They're the ones that shoot and edit all of our videos. Jess is our HR manager and executive assistant, aka Pepper Potts. Alex is our IT guy who's an expert in all things tech. Bogdan is a robot from the future that I sent back in time to help me grow HACKSMITH Industries, and he's our project manager who looks after the engineers. Ben is technically a co-op, but due to the pandemic, he opted to take a year off of online learning and just keep working for us. Then we have 2 other co-ops per term typically. We have Chris, who's our shop manager, and under him, Dave and Tyler, and Chris T, who runs our new hacksmith.store division, when he's not building giant flashlights. Finally, we have Jarrett, who helps out with some business development. Now, you might have noticed there's more than 17 spots on this chart. That's because personally, I wear a whole bunch of other hats that I'm trying to get rid of, because really, I want to be able to focus on just making things and running the business. So we're actually almost always hiring. In retrospect, or is it futurespect? I should have just sent some more Bogdan robots to help me. You guys remember Charles? He was an intern, and he's actually graduating engineering school soon, and will be joining us full-time this summer. The entire team's purpose is to make videos, except for Chris T, but we'll talk about him later. So, how do we actually make the videos? It all starts with an idea. What if we make a crown in like a skull helmet that shoots propane and we just light it on fire? After that, we start planning the production. Josh basically hosts a bunch of meetings, like a kickoff meeting and a creative meeting, where we figure out what the video is going to be about and how we can make it interesting. Then it moves on to actually building the project. A project lead and a video lead is assigned, and then we get to work building whatever it is we're actually building. Now, this could take a day, like the jet-powered snowboard, or a week, like my Silver Surfer surfboard. Say that 3 times fast. Or a month, like my Iron Man repulsor, or an entire term, like the hoverboard, or even a year, like the Kylo Ren lightsaber, or maybe even a decade, like the power loader. Sometimes it never even gets done at all. And there's actually one project that's been shelved for over 2 years now, which we had actually spent about $20,000 on, but we were too afraid to take it any further. Then of course there's the actual production of the video. One of the most annoying things is that our shop is also our studio. So often people are trying to work while we're also trying to film. This becomes problematic when someone is grinding and we're trying to record audio. So we have to yell, "Quiet on set!" and everyone trying to work has to stand around until we finish recording, which from a business perspective is hella expensive. Once everything is filmed, we'll have about 500 gigabytes of footage, and now the editors need to take that raw footage and turn it into a video. Some editors think that everything needs to be perfect and done right the first time, but I'm a firm believer that anything and everything can be fixed in post. All right, awesome. That's a wrap.
You didn't even finish your line.
Yeah, you can fix it in post. Now, we store everything on the server that we built with Linus. Well, in truth, Alex actually built most of this while Ian and I talked strategy with Linus. Now, files are dropped on the server, and they're actually run, kind of noisy, through a thread ripper and transcoded to a smaller file size. These smaller files are called proxies, and we do this because it's a lot easier for your computer and the network to handle small files while we're editing. The editors then put together a rough cut, basically the bare bones of the video. This is an opportunity to make large changes to the video before wasting time making everything perfect. We then review the cut on frame.io because we can actually leave timestamped comments. The editor then makes all the requested changes. Once that's done, they post a fine cut for the final review. Around this time, we also send a preview to the sponsor and a preview for our members and Patreon supporters to see the video early. Finally, the finished video releases on Thursdays at 4 p.m. EST. And then we do it all over again for the following week. As you can imagine, I basically live here. So let me give you the house tour. This is Ian's office, the editing pod, reception, our server room, my office, our coffee pod, bathroom number 1, our production meeting room, camera storage, bathroom number 2, our badminton court, warehouse racking, more warehouse racking, Alex's office, our 3D printer farm, the gym, our sauna, the hydro massage bed, bathroom number 3, our main presentation area, basketball court, our power loader work area, our welding area. This is the grindy box, metal storage, the machine shop, our plasma cutter, our lathe, the bandsaw, Tormach 1100, Slant Pro lathe, Tormach 440, the hallway of secrets, our circuit breakers, our new fiber laser, and a concrete bunker we built around it. This is going to be a kitchen. And this is gonna be our podcast set. Merch storage, Christie's office, the gallery with all of our projects, and the yellow wall. Bathroom number 4, bathroom number 5, and the bathroom closet. My wardrobe, and finally, our studio room. Whew, that's gotta be the fastest tour I've ever given. And the final thing I'd like to show you guys is our new store, because we only just launched it. But Hacksmith, you've had merch for years. What's different now? We wanted more control over the products so we could be proud of the items we sell. So we shut down the old merch store and brought everything in-house. It's a lot more work to handle sourcing, quality control, distribution, and of course customer support. But hey, that's a problem for Chris. Being able to sell good quality products directly to our audience is part of my master plan, so we're investing in making that happen. The store is still very new, so we don't have a lot of products live yet, but we're working hard on getting new products in every month. We're evaluating quality, choosing materials, adding features to make sure it's a product that we stand behind. Like our wallet. I've tried dozens of wallets over the years, and this is by far my favorite wallet ever. This week, we actually launched our new Hacksmith t-shirt, which is custom designed, uses a fantastic material, has great quality screen printing, and it's actually our shirt. We'll also be launching water bottles next week, so make sure you check out hacksmith.store. Plus, we'll also be selling limited run projects and collectibles on occasion. Anyway, that's the entire YouTube business in a nutshell. And like we've been saying for years, this is just the beginning. So if you want to hear even more about my plans for the future of Hacksmith Industries, I'll be doing another podcast at stereo.com/hacksmith on February 19th at 4 p.m. and another one on Monday, February 22nd, also at 4 p.m. EST. Make sure you tune in where you can even ask questions live. Plus, you can also listen to the one I just did a few days ago at any time. Thanks for watching.